Transition words or phrases or transition devices in English language. Let's see what are transitional devices. Transition devices are words or phrases that help to carry a thought from one sentence to another, from one idea to another, or from one paragraph to another paragraph. And finally, transition devices link sentences and paragraphs together smoothly so that there are no abrupt jumps or breaks between ideas. There are several types of transition devices, and each category leads readers to make certain connections or assumptions. Some lead readers forward and imply the building of an idea or thought, while others make readers compare ideas or draw conclusions from the preceding thought. So it depends which type of transition device is required. According to that, we use that transition device. These are also called indicators. And these transition devices are a very good indicator to indicate different messages to the readers. So that's why, as per the need, we use basically different type of transitional devices. Transition devices or transition word in a sentence. If we see in the first picture, Susan wanted cake, she wanted ice cream. In the next, we have basically used Susan wanted cake, but she also wanted ice cream. But she also here, this is basically transition device. So here it has joined two sentences. Transition words between paragraphs. When transitions are used between paragraphs, they are often in the form of a phrase or clause that refers to the previous information while introducing a new idea. When we talk about transition devices, these can be used as a single word, or these can be used sometime as a sentence, or usually in a form of a phrase. So if you have any misconception regarding it, that transition devices are just in the form of a word, so please make it correct. There is no such type of situation. As per the need, different transitional devices can be used in different modes. These transitions often come at the beginning of a new paragraph. See how this works by exploring these transition sentences examples. For instance, in conclusion, here, the beginning of the sentence is basically transition phrase, and this transition phrase is in conclusion. The thesis is clear. It follows logically. What is it? It is basically what? It is again used as a phrase. And lastly, it is important to link all these points together. Next, we look. So what we are trying to prove, usually when we talk about transition devices, in many cases, these are used in the beginning of the sentence, but this is not a hard and fast rule. Despite the previous argument, again, a complete phrase. Types of transitional devices. When we talk about transitional devices, transitional or bullets, or these indicators, these have basically different types. For instance, there are several types of transition words and phrases, and each category helps to reader to make certain connections. And with the help of these signal words, a reader can understand what is going on ahead. Some signal the building of an idea, while others reader compare ideas or draw conclusion, right? Here is a list of transition words and common transition sentence examples. The first type, compare, contrast, point out alternatives or differences. For instance, the boy liked birds, but. So, but is what? But is used here as a transition device. Similarly, he did not like lions and tigers. Then, on the contrary, compare contrast, he liked animals that could fly, such as sparrows and falcons. The second type is chronology. Chronology means help define time, something which has been mentioned according to timeline or in a sequential order. So before you go home, here before is used as a as an example of transition device of chronology. In the next, during the evening. So again here during is used as what, used as a transition device of chronology, and then simultaneously cause effect, show the consequences of an action, um like since, therefore, as a result. These are the words, those have been used here as the examples of cause effect transitional devices. The next illustration examples, most of the time when we write something, so to demonstrate, for example, these are basically the words, those have been used for the illustration examples, or even truly specifically to demonstrate. These are also the examples of illustration or examples. Addition, when we talk about addition, so this transition device basically add information or reinforce ideas, like Jonas promised to love, honor, and also obey his wife also, moreover, furthermore. These all are the examples of addition. Clarification, clarification means show support. I hate school, that is I dislike it intensely. So here what is this? It is showing clarification. In other words, again we are going to show support. To put it another way, again these all are the clarification. Then qualification, present condition or intentions with what was possibly the greatest catch of all time. So possibly, almost, with this in mind, these all are the example of qualification which present conditions or intentions. Summary or conclusion, restate ideas. When we summarize or we talk about conclusion, it means we are moving towards the end of something. We're going to conclude it. For instance, as can be seen in the long run, or we can say in a nutshell, in short. These all are the examples of daily life summary or conclusion transitional devices. Sequence, show order. Again, when we talk about sequence, it means first, second, thirdly, firstly, then finally. These all are the words. Those are basically the example of sequence. Use of punctuation, which is very important when we use transition devices. Keep it, remember, we must know how to use and what are the punctuation mark, or what are the ways to use punctuation mark in it. Use a comma after transition words and phrase at when that begin a sentence, however, therefore, on the other hand, for example, etc. Consequently, if your sentence begins with transition device, then please make sure after that transition device you have to mark comma. But if after it there is a conjunction, then there is no need to apply comma. But here you can see, no, there is no such type of situation. No conjunction is used, so there is no need to use what to then of course, as no conjunction is used, so that's why here you need to apply comma. In the next example, as a result, most stores are closed. This is example of phrase and which is used in the beginning of the sentence. So if it is used in the beginning of the sentence, so then you have to mark comma. But keep it, remember, if after the use of it you see there is conjunction, then please avoid it. Use a pair of commas in the middle of a sentence to set off transition words or phrase, as well as clauses that are not essential to the meaning of the sentence. Please keep it, remember, keep one thing in your mind when transition words or devices or sorry, phrases, if these use in between the sentence, then please, how you have to use, you have to mark comma before and after that specific word. In this case, however, now however is what it is, a transition device, so before it and after it comma is must. The food, on the other hand, now it's a phrase, transition phrase, so before it and after it, as it is used in the middle of the sentence. Now examine how this works through a longer paragraph example, and how can you basically write it in a proper way. Think about it for a while. You have to decide which type of transition devices are required in it. Please keep it remember, it's not necessary if we talk per summarization or example or such type of devices. It's not necessary, or there is no hard and fast rule that these will be used by the end of the passage, or this will be inserted by the end. So by keeping these all points, and you need to get rid of these such type of misconception. It's very important. Okay, all right, let's check if you are done. So can we check that you have done it correctly or not? So here is the answer key. The first is lastly, then additionally, it follows logically, as you can see, and then therefore. And everywhere almost these are used in the beginning, and soon after these either the transition word or transition phrase, comma has been marked. Then next, this is a paragraph which is without transitional devices. Now what are you supposed to do? You need to add. And if you add successfully, then it's mean, yes, you have got the idea. You need to find out, do we have any space to use these transition words or phrases? If you believe yes, so please use it. And then I'll show you the answer key. But meanwhile, think about it, decide it. The passage is drawing is all about taking the time to master each step. Mastering the art of drawing doesn't happen in a day. It's a skill that takes daily practice. You need dedication to hone for your craft. It's important not to burn yourself out. You need to stick with it. Let's check. Now here in the second line, second sentence has been started with other words, the third with furthermore. And then if you see that we have used as well as in between, the better option was if commas would be marked before and after as well as, and then but before but we have marked comma. The reason it is basically what? This is coordinating conjunction, and before coordinating conjunctions, comma can be marked. It can be marked, right? So this is the end of the today's video. Thank you from my side.